Recovered from really bad Comcast issues and baby troubleshooting. We're back, and I think everything's going to be okay. Hopefully we won't see any more frame drops. So this VOD might be a little bit shorter, although given that my wife is out of town, I might be able to run a little bit late today if we're close to beating the game, but haven't quite beaten it. I do intend to go fight all of the remaining optional bosses if I can find them. Probably have to open up a map again to find my way around this place because it's super convoluted and confusing. But I can at least get down to the 5th floor. Just turn the baby off and on again. Shit. Is it happening again? It happened again. It did. Oh my god. It was mild that time. I dropped like 500 frames, but still. It's like they know, I know, right? It's like we sit there for like 15 minutes with no issues, the number doesn't go up, and I start playing and it comes back. I'm gonna take a pause to look up, I'm using my words here, to look up some maps for this zone once I get around to like B5, because I think last session I cleared out B1, 2, 3, and 4. Which room has the Flan princesses in it? So I might try to do that. If I can get the thing that disables random encounters, that'd be pretty dope. I guess you still get XP and stuff for fighting them, so it's not a complete waste of time. Everybody topped off after every battle. Cecil should be our heal battery, because he can't use his MP in combat anyway. Now I'm seeing my little green box falter a bit down there. Might be able to keep displaying that. Got dead space in the corners. Kill this guy, I don't think about it. Probably should have thrown a cry out there instead of jumping. It's okay though. Can I get, elemental resistance items like the dragon helmet for all of my party members, or is it only going to be for Kane and Cecil? So I can display this real quick. Y'all can see directly whether dropped frames have happened. Just give me one sec. If you're watching in the future on YouTube, the little number in the corner is just to help stream keep track of whether I dropped frames or if everything is fine. It's on their end or it's on my end. But I think we should be able to keep playing alright. So that number should stay 8117. If it grows above 8117, then something bad has happened. Just Kane and Cecil. The other resist gear would be like fire resist probably, instead of resist all. With a lone red frame chest. I may have already gotten that chest, I'm not sure. Everyone's accuracy blows lately, I don't know why. It would be great sadness though. There we go. Hey, a fight with a blue dragon that Cecil didn't die in. That's new. This Edge is getting strength and speed. I don't think I really gave him any stat boost augments. Oh right, Reedy has a Stardust Rod. Should be using that more. Why does that hit so hard? It must do damage based on her intelligence or something. I remember it being pretty good, but not as a like almost ideal alternative to casting Bahamut. The only difference is it takes longer to use. I wonder if it would be impacted by Fast Talker. Please die, please die, please die. Nice. Was gonna make the decision to just run away from those assholes. Alright, so now's my chance to change Cecil's equipment because his next combat will almost certainly level him up. But watch it be the 2 blue dragon encounter, and I just die because Cecil doesn't have all of his upgrades. So it was Reach. I'm trying to give him speed. Reach, upgrade, Whirlwind, I want to say, and then counter gives him strength, so I can keep that. Please don't be a combat that wipes the party. Please be something easy. I'm begging you, game, just be nice to me. It's B4. That's an easy battle. Thanks, game. I appreciate that. What an easy battle. Reach, upgrade, roll on counter. May as well try using it. Wow. That was 50 MP, I think. Try using Faraga, it's cheaper. Ouch. Alright. Alright, so his speed went from 44 to 47, which is exactly what I was going for. You got a bunch of other stat boosts too. Is that just from Whirlwind being really valuable? I hate the fact that you have to have the augment actually equipped. Like, that's so janky. So you have to equip these garbage augments right before they level up in order to max out their stats. Oof. Oof. Owie. Where's my other thing? Phoenix. Probably, in retrospect, I should have given Phoenix to Kane. I didn't think about this at the time. But the reason being that Kane is likely to survive on the whole party wipes because there's a good chance he's going to be up in the air from jump. Where's my curves? So if he's up in the air from jump, he'll be the one survivor and he can't do shit on his own, but he can get killed and then res everybody else. I guess Cecil's pretty likely to survive too. So it's not all bad. Let me review everybody's speed stat right now. He's at 32. Oh, right, because of the penalty from the curse ring. Oof. Alright, so I don't think I'm ever going to be able to... As long as I'm wearing the curse ring, I'm not going to get his speed high enough that he can pop brace before the enemy acts, but what are you going to do? Adding the fire weakness. Would it be decent enough damage on her that it would, like, merit the augment slot compared to her spells and shit? Shit, this is a really hard fight. Cast Protect on a dude. Try to keep Brace running. Brace plus Protect should, in theory, keep him from dying, I think. Slow all enemies when I get a chance here. Go for a specific setup. Sure. Oops. Yeah, all the enemies and the animations are exactly like the Super Nintendo version. They've done a really good job in terms of fidelity with basically everything other than the character sprites and the character portraits. Everything else is extremely close. Like, even these enemies look just like the original dragon sprite in this area of the game. Goodbye, Edge. Hardly knew you. Well, that sucks. So you get a full heal out of that. Stop doing that. It's super rude of you guys. Yeah, it's because of augments. I have an augment equipped on Rosa that lets her target all with any of her spells, so she can cast Haste All as well. Not as good as dual cast, but take it, I guess. He's taking like no damage with Protect and Brace in effect. Dual cast, Omnicast. Thanks. Could be much, much better, but it's not. Alright, Cecil's gonna get XP for the first time ever against 2 blue dragons. I think they're the most XP of any enemy I've fought in the game. Kind of a pain to fight, though. Silenced again. Do the blue dragons just have like an added effect silence on their attack? They do. Pretty sure there's a room in here as well that just has 2 Lunasaurs, right? The undead T-Rex bone thing, this guy? Or is it a different enemy from this guy? This guy says his name is Bone Dragon. Oh, is the title not updated again? Thanks, sir. fix itself. There is actually a save point. This is the easiest encounter that I can get, I think. Prayer unanswered? Man, that's some horseshit. There's a lot of abilities in this game that I want to use on the character's first turn in auto battle and then pivot them to do something else. I guess that what I'm asking for is gambits, though. It's a little bit too complicated for FF4. Rooms lined up on the same wall. Okay, keep an eye out for it. 5. Pulling up maps over here. 4. 6. So the room with the single red fang in the chest. That's all that's in the room. You think it's on B5? Alright, here, top everybody off. Cecil, you're up, buddy. Fantasy never ends. I know, right? I'd love to have another ribbon drop. Please, please God, give me one. Make up for the lack of... I still can't believe that there's a chance that a jelly can drop early in the game, an item that will let you turn off encounters. So, like, the length of a casual playthrough is either 36 hours or, like, 24 hours. Depending on if that drops for you or not. Oof. I thought Final Fantasy was a Japanese idiom meaning like your last shot at something. Just like Square was gonna go bankrupt and this was their last shot, and it ended up being really successful. Kind of ironic. That's the actual correct use of ironic. Big King Shame. Hail Mary, I think, is what Final Fantasy means, Japanese. Or at least maybe it used to mean that. I'm sure that the game's popularity has supplanted the idiom. That even hits both enemies, and now it's doing like 9,000 damage. What else had Square made before Final Fantasy 1? Everybody leveled up. Shitload of extra MP. Should help Prey. Good intellect boost. And just strength's going up by 2, which is always good. Rosa, I think intellect makes Holy do more damage, so that's not complete garbage. The arcade style stuff. And Cammy's gone. Cat must have picked her up. Sorry, turn off my baby monitor here. I want to waste that again. Try casting slow on him to reduce the chance that he self-destructs and wastes our time. Man, Stardust is doing 99.99. That's beautiful. And it's free. Gloriously free. Oh, it only hit Cecil? That flamethrower is a party-wide attack. I'm not gonna complain. Come on, be a kill. You can do it. Nice. Train. Poison Axe. These just drop a lot of different axes. I think I could get the Poison Axe earlier in the game, too. I don't think it's an upgrade. That was my second one. I'm gonna turn off the dropped frames display. It looks like it has actually passed for realsies, no fooling. Trigger, immediately more frames start to drop, right? I didn't top everybody off after that. That's okay. Oof. There's no ability that reduces an enemy's physical attack in this game, right? Like a weakened status? I don't think so. And then Rosa dies before she gets to cast her thing. That's a bummer. Gotten unlucky with the boss's trick. She's going to use here. Oh, I should have just cast it on everybody anyway. On the chance that it would one-shot Edge. Fucking Edge, man. I'll waste this space. I feel like when I get to Zeromus, I should warp out and go buy a shitload of, he's gonna die again. Unbelievable. I should warp out and buy a shitload of elixirs and just have Cecil be on elixir duty during the fight. I think Zeromus uses at least a single target ability. I think he casts Flare. So I can have Cecil be Flare bait. Maybe pick up Edge. Those intelligence boosts paying off. I don't know if I'll quite get her to 99 intelligence by the end of the dungeon, but it could happen. Nice block. Right. More blue dragon XP for Cecil. Ooh, Dragon Whisker. That's a rare drop, isn't it? Is it 1 in 256 or 128? I moved Cecil's shit over. Oh well. Stamina's still good. Little kids are like ferrets, sleep most of the day, eat, occasionally poop on the floor by accident, sometimes crawl under the sofa, and then you have to take them out from there. Sounds pretty accurate. No! Golbez is not truly evil, Cecil. Have you been paying attention at all? Rare should be Wyvern Lance. And what's the benefit of the Dragon Whisker is that it has a really high chance of paralyzing dragons? Yeah, but then I can't use... Or maybe I can still use the Stardust Rod without having it equipped. I think I can. Maybe not on auto battle, though. Pretty significant attack boost. Oh, she's already at 99 intellect with the Stardust Rod equipped. That's cool. I'm gonna play a Final Fantasy game with a classic combat system. You're looking to play on PC, Paxu? If you're specifically looking to play on PC, I could probably make a better recommendation than 4 or 3, especially if you're not super used to the series. What's the current best way to play 6 on PC? Is it that yucky mobile port with the gross graphics? I guess it wouldn't be that distracting if it's your first time playing it. Mostly just yucky if you've played 6 on the Super Nintendo. You already did play 6? Okay. Have you played 5? 5 is an incredible game. I think the way I'd put it is that 4 and 3 have the... They're getting a little bit closer to the modern design, but they have a lot of old game, haven't aged terribly well. Concepts like really high encounter rate, expectation that you'll grind, some punishing dungeon design where you don't have any save points. The dungeon I'm in currently is the final dungeon, and I think I've had to warp out to save several times and re-delve through it. So I think I'd recommend 5. If you're gonna play 4, I think I'd honestly recommend playing almost anything other than this 3D version that I'm playing now. I'm glad I'm playing it on stream because it's blind for me. I've played the Super Nintendo version many, many times, but this one seems to slow the game down quite a bit. It does have an improved localization, which is nice. I think the remake of 3 is an overall improvement over the NES version of 3, which still had some quality of life issues. So if you really are interested in checking out 3, I would recommend playing the PC remake. If you're going to play 4, though, I'd probably either recommend playing the PSP version of the game, which you can emulate trivially. PSP emulation is actually really, really solid, surprisingly. Or see if you can play it on Super Nintendo. I get stuck under the twin bed and up crawl. Over the side roll game is on point. The problem. I honestly wouldn't go to 3 until you're like decide that you really like Final Fantasy and you want to play the whole series. I'm glad to hear you've already played 6, but 3 just has some really, really brutal non-modern game design approaches, especially in its approach to its final dungeon, which is like a 4-hour dungeon. It's a boss rush that has no save points in it, and you're locked in and unable to leave. I'm dropping frames again, guys. Apologies. I'm just gonna keep going now. 12 Zodiac Age. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The Gambit system is neat. It's been a long time since I've played it, but I remember liking the Gambit system and liking that I could treat it as an actual traditional turn-based game by just pausing every round. Have you played Chrono Trigger before, Baxu? PSP is the definitive version. Okay. Chrono Trigger is basically Final Fantasy. It's Sakaguchi. Uematsu helped out with the soundtrack, mostly Yasunori Mitsuda, but... Shit, should he build up? Expected a... Shit, okay. We'll be okay, everything's fine, nothing is ruined. Blink everybody first. Try... Bless... Start throwing some shurikens here. Oh right, I unequipped Cecil with the Excalibur because I was fighting an enemy that was immune to Holy. I'll have to re-equip that. You don't recommend the Steam version of Chrono Trigger? Really? What's the issue with it? Yeah, the graphics are very good. They've done a good job with it, I think. Scalper. The Defender gives him a bunch of other... No, I don't really need to have him do a lot of damage. I'd almost rather him have the boosts from Defender until I get Ragnarok, his ultimate weapon. Now that I think about it. Extra content. DS version is more of the remaining issues. Yeah, I hate the graphics in 6 and 5. I don't know what they were thinking. Like, the SNES version of 6 is my favorite graphics of all time. Like, my Stream UI is inspired by it. It was one of those, like, it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it kind of problems. They're worried about it being pixelated, I guess? Even if they had just done some, like, janky ZSNES style, ZSNES style anti-aliasing, it would have looked better than what they ended up doing. Don't need her to do anything, do I? Yeah, browser Java game, right? I would agree with that. It's not an inaccurate description. $99.99 damage. Greedy is over here at 99 intellect. I didn't think I was going to reach 99 in any stat for any character. And part of it's just the Stardust Rod is kind of busted. Issues with the past and play. Thought so. Dang it, Kane! You gotta suck so bad at your job, man. A very simple task for you. I don't remember party members' accuracy being that terrible in the original game. Although I feel like as the Final Fantasy series has gone on, they've increasingly gotten rid of accuracy problems outside of like blind as a status effect. It's not really baked in that you're expected to miss often. This guy gives you the ability to switch between the classic or smooth look. Yeah, I've seen other games do that too. Like, was it Cave Story? Crystal Mail. Very nice. A significant buff. And give the Genji mail to anybody. The black garb is better? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I don't think that I want to fight another optional boss Let me use my words here. I don't want to fight another optional boss until I've teleported out, cottaged, and saved, but we'll see. Sky was the first game you could see the difference between 480 and 720p resolution. Oh really? Maybe I can just push down to the save point room? That'd be nice. I'd like to like set up a base of operations in here and not have to keep warping out. I was reading the wiki for a primer on the optional bosses, and I thought it said that there was only a save point in the dungeon on easy type, but maybe they added it. I could see them adding it as a convenience thing for the DS version. She's almost a 999 MP. Now that she doesn't need MP anymore. So if I give Kane, I think I've already used up all my augments. That's fine. 4 has a better story, 100%. I won't even hesitate to say that. 3 almost doesn't have a story. It's very light stuff that they added kind of sort of onto the remake. I'm not disparaging 3, it's a good game, it doesn't happens to not really have a story. Or like relevant main characters. 4 is pretty important. It's like the start of modern Final Fantasy. All the other games kind of grew from this. It's the link to the past of this franchise. Like, you look at Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, neither game is really representative of what modern Zelda is. I guess maybe Zelda 1 is all like Breath of the Wild. But all modern Final Fantasy games kind of flow from this title. So if you're not interested in playing 5, I think that this is the one you should go with. Four random onion kids that you customize. Kind of like Final Fantasy 1 as well. Final Fantasy 1 also has rando nobodies as your main party members. Crystal gloves. That's not good. I can't use those with the curse gloves. What do we got? Oh, jeez. Oof. Alright, so I can berserk this guy. Oh, jeez. Okay. Stream should still be running. Looks like it's running for me. But I don't have steel equipped. Gotcha. What's the steel again? It's a ruby ring or something? I'm not gonna stress. This enemy and Odin are the only two in the game. It's so janky. Wish I had regen in this game. I would totally use it. Crystal ring. Is it just a really good ring item? Anything special about it? I can also drop the red tail. I'll say. It increases defense, evasion, magic, evade, immune, sleep, and paralyze everyone except darkness, sea soap, and equipment. I almost don't really need Redia's MP anymore, unless she has a Stardust Rod. At least so far. Plus 5 speed's pretty good. That's too bad. The only way to get it is to steal from this specific one. It's so weird that none of the enemies in the game have a rare steal except for one. I think I might switch to the Crystal Gear and stop using the Curse Ring. I guess Kane can have the Curse Ring. He can be my doesn't die to rampant elemental damage character, and hopefully all the stat increases on Cecil will let him survive anyway. Casts fast. $267 damage, huh? Looks like Brace does actually work like Defend, that I can proc it once and then just not use his turn anymore, and he's fine. I was worried that it would go away after it triggered on one attack, or if he did anything else on his turn. Or if his turn came back up, I should say. Dragon Gloves. My second pair of those. But I think that only Kane can equip those, maybe, perhaps. Maybe he can. Kane and Cecil probably only. Yeah, it's a pretty big boost. Compared to the Dragon Gloves, plus 3 Spirit, plus 2 Defense. I'll give it a try and see how good it is. Probably should have topped off, but that's okay. Shit happens. Yeah, he's pretty tanky now. That's without Defend. I think he was taking like 2,000 damage per hit from those assholes when we first got in here. I wonder if part of that has to do with his augment. The stat ups he's been getting from his augments, I should say. Oh, it's the silver one that's actually tankier. Alright, that was the test. Thunderbolt used to do like 3,000 damage, and now it does like 300, so... Apparently 1 point of magic defense is a big deal in this game. Should move Cecil's equipment, but that's okay. Means I get plus 2 stamina, which isn't bad. And his strength's getting up there too. Enemies are all like level 70. Sure. This, I'm remembering the Flan Princess room from farming it as a kid. It's not this one. make sure there's nothing else outside before I leave. I'll top everybody off. Does not appear to be anything else. Now I need like a item for Rosa that just casts Kiraja on the party. Like Stardust Rod is basically a free Bahamut that takes like twice as long to cast. I think I played Final Fantasy II for the Super Nintendo 5 or 6 times before I finally figured out that you could use items in combat. I think I was mad when I found out. To be fair, I don't think the game ever tells you that it's possible. I don't think there's ever an NPC that tosses out, oh, by the way, if you get an Ice Rod, try just proccing it. When they stop using that mechanic? Definitely not in 7 or any of the games beyond, right? 9 only has the weird thing where you can use tents on enemies for some reason. More prey off. Alright, Rydia's getting 99 MP now with prey. Sweet. So if I need to have her cast Bahamut instead of using the Stardust Rod for whatever reason, I can have Rosa be an MP battery for her. What are the stat boosts from Level Lust? So the other optional bosses, if I recall correctly, there's the Wyvern guy, Dark Bahamut, who opens with Mega Flare, right? There's... Strength +1. That's pretty good to have on edge. Ogopogo, which is basically Evil Leviathan, just spams a deluge attack that hits everybody. So if he's comparable to Leviathan, he should be okay. I think the only one that has a gimmick is there's like an Ahriman boss that casts Doom on the party, and you need to... Do haste and slow work to put the Doom timers out of sync in this game? Or is that only other Final Fantasies? Probably still cast Stop or kill somebody early to get it to go away. I remember being really stuck on that as a kid. I couldn't figure out. I thought maybe they just wanted me to win the fight. Spirit 99. That's exciting. Evasion goes down. All the other stats. Magic defense goes up to 34. Oh my god. What about buff? Okay. I'll try it when I get to the fight. We'll see. Bag can still do that. Wow. I guess level must figure into the damage calculation. I don't think that their natural stats have gone up that much. Like, I don't think your defense or your magic defense go up as a function of level. I kind of assumed that it was just based on stat comparisons, but maybe there's the level differences included in the damage calculation. Would also explain why Edge is hitting like a truck. Come on, ribbon. Come on, ribbon. That's not a ribbon. That's 3 hyphens. Very small ribbons in a row. That would be the dream. How's it going, Nonovan? Still having a swell time and that our WoW expansion. Oh, what's this guy steal? Dinozombie. What did I just do? Oh. Misfired there, whatever. Continues to be quite excellent. Cool. Ooh, what the fuck does Curse do? That's not the thing where it flips damage and healing, is it? It might be. Fortunately, that thing barely hurts when it does hit. I missed if he answered when I asked last time, not even, are there any, like, major parts of the world map or the lore that have not been explored yet in WoW? I guess you've got some places in space we could still go to. You probably haven't been to the Drainy home planet yet. Argus. Emerald Dream. We went to Argus. Shoot, sorry. And there's a robocaller. Fight me. It actually kind of works out. There's this XKCD comic where it's like the area code on your phone is just where you lived in 2005, which I don't think is still true for people now, because there are very young people who only got their cell phone number recently. It's true for me, and it means that anytime I get a phone call with an Ohio area code, I know it's a robocall immediately, and they're trying to like spoof their number to appear like they're local. Oh, it's just a regular random battle. Forgot to equip the new thing on Cecil. I'll do it out of combat here. They've been to the Maelstrom yet? That was a big expansion bait thing that was on the map for the longest time. Huh. Why is Cecil immune to Curse? He doesn't have a, ribbon. Rosa has. Oh shit. What expansion was that? Because at the end of the day, they always have time travels built into it. Oh, Cataclysm, wow. Yeah. I quit during Wrath, so... This might be the Flan Princess room. No, never mind. It's Hawking. Deathwing died in the most. I thought there was like an underground or underwater like Atlantis city with Nagas and shit in the Maelstrom. Gotcha. But you've been like over the Maelstrom, sounds like. Oh, Crystal Shield confers status immunities. Right on. Do you think that they're ever going to pull the trigger and have you fight Sargeras? It, like, seems to be the ultimate big bad that they have to keep on the horizon forever. He's not dead. I mean, he's dead, but they will bring him back. He's dead in the same way that there's a bunch of characters in the new Marvel movie who already have sequels lined up. Gone-ish. This might be Flan Princess room, let's see. This feels right. My memory of the Super Nintendo map. Yeah. Are Flan princesses difficult to fight at all? Is there any kind of shenanigan with them, or is it just they're rare? Fight his avatar. Fight his projection. There you go. You understand, sir. Dance with us. Hit hard. Somebody Flan. Oh, fuck. That's new. And frightening. Shit. Remedy. Terslite princesses. Wouldn't be so bad if Rydia had the whip. The music change is kind of new, since this is a special encounter. I don't think there was anything that really called out that the encounter was special in the original game. This is a rare encounter, and it drops a rare item. Drops a couple rare items. One of them will let me get the augment that makes it makes me have no encounters, which would be really great. I would love for that to drop. But the other drop is the pink tail, which got you was the adamantium armor in the original game. So I remember farming this room as a kid. I didn't know about the siren thing, or maybe sirens were included in the FF2 version of the game. Oh shit, they can recast that. Thanks. Well, at least I'm back to almost being topped off. Probably wait until one dies before I undo my brace, because now I can just eat this damage forever. Almost forever, eventually I'll have to cave. They have good evasion too. Keep missing them. I'm surprised that the ribbon doesn't confer Berserk immunity. Good night, Kai Mom. They change the music when they do it. It's funny. Well, they've really added special stuff to this fight. Would have been nice if they would have made the drop rate 100% if they were going to add all this special encounter crap to it. And I don't get drop rate ×3 because of the janky way this game works, unfortunately. I can remedy Rydia right after it uses this Samba, so she can cast something. Try to time it for when they cast again. It looked like only one of them was casting it, so... Oh, wait, it just wore off. Nice. Dope. I guess Rosa got afflicted by it most recently. See if anything else confers Berserk immunity. Probably not. Oh, there we go. Has a different song every time. It's funny. Have to recast Brace right after doing that. So Cecil doesn't. If Cecil dies, it's game over. So. Careful here. Entice. Oh dear. Whew. I hope that he's immune to that. And the miss is worrisome. I want to see blocked. Oh, so much for that plan. Maybe I can get away with casting Flare, and it'll go off in time. So I can need like 10 more hits before I have to heal him. If I kill one of them, okay, that helps. As soon as I commit to a new attack, my brace status wears off, which is frustrating. Queued up to cast. Please kill the thing. Please don't absorb Flare. Alright. First try. That was brutal. Dropped an elixir. Which is not what we wanted. It also seems to give pretty crappy XP. Alright, let me see what I can do here. I may as well have Rydia have the Dragon Whisker, which I think is her best damaging anything, since I can't have her cast spells. I may as well have Rosa have the Yoichi Bow, Artemis Arrows. Save point's not far from here. I can go do that first, I guess. Does that really not affect her spirit? Doesn't seem right. Oh, because her spirit's already at 99. Oh, well that's good. Well, then I don't have to give her something that sucks. Oh, I'm not going to keep trying to get it. I just wanted to go through my sirens and see if I luck out. Oh, she's almost close enough that she doesn't need to have the Stardust Rod equipped anymore either. I don't think I can use it on auto battle though, it's not equipped. Okay, I'll go find the save point then. I remember it being close to the save point, so I remember loading my save and walking back. Time here maybe? Right, I gotta get Cecil's helmet equipped too. Also has primary element. Nice. I don't lose the effect of the dragon helm. Gotta switch him back to the dragon gloves now, so I've got the full set. Fuma Shuriken. Two Fuma Shurikens. Look at my B6 map here, 1 second. Don't think it's down this way. I guess if I were able to remedy Rydia on the first turn against those Spawn Princesses, like do it immediately with Cecil and then have her cast Bahamut, it might cast in time to kill them. It didn't look like they had much more than 10,000 HP. Actually, how much HP do they have? Do you know, Aki? Exactly. Okay. So like one cast of Bahamut won't kill them, but everybody else hitting them once should finish them off. Gotcha. Nice crit. Well done. Cecil's close to leveling up. Making sure I remember to equip the Mirasami. I feel like his spirit affects how much healing magic heals for, right? In or out of combat. I think his spirit's high enough now that he's actually healing pretty well. Dead end. I'm gonna do stuff on the western side of the map anyway. I might try to pivot and cast Protect on Cecil. I don't have anyone that absorbs their Ice Storm attack anymore, so I should be a little bit careful about that. Oh, that's not so bad. Now, does the Dragon Helm and the Dragon Mail stack? If I have both of them equipped, does that mean that I'm taking a quarter damage from those attacks? I don't think so, right? Alright, we gotta get her to start casting Kiraja here. Face down. Nope. At least the important people aren't dying immediately to that. Should keep him blocking. Nice. I think the 3 stats he's currently gaining, if I don't dump them all into speed, are actually kind of what I want. So I want strength and stamina and speed. Wyvern Spear can't be better than the Holy Lance thing that you get from being the boss down here, is it? HP's going up. HP is only barely going up anymore, though. It's stupid. 80, 50, 83, 54. One screen away from the floor with the 2 branching paths. Okay, thanks. Assuming it's still in this game. I might leave the Defender on Cecil. I don't know. I feel like I'm more invested in him staying alive than I am in him doing a little bit more damage. It depends on what the stats on the Ragnarok are. I should have just done haste all. Keep forgetting that she can do that. It doesn't change the cost. I think haste changes the casting time as well, maybe? Let's see how much damage Holy is doing with her slight intelligence buffs. Probably not much, but... That's not terrible. It's not great either. Alrighty. Good. For its MP cost, I'm not sure it's worth doing. There's a secret path to the left here that we're not going to take right now. Try to get our MP restored since this fight don't take any damage. Good night, Yahan. Sleep well. Good seeing ya. Appreciate you hanging out. So we did in fact drop frames a couple more times, but it wasn't as bad as the beginning of stream. Once we stopped displaying it in the corner down there. Hey, way to not have Cecil die. Good job, team. Cottage. It seems to suggest that there's going to be a save point soon. Which would be, like, pretty dang swell. What the hell? That's worrisome. There's just a regular one of these assholes in here. Little Murderer. Libra, uh-oh. Trickster. Why he would cast it on himself, it's really weird. Huh. Is there any shenanigan with him? He drops tents, that's cool. He's It looks like it has a save point in it. There's 3 doors in a row, and the leftmost door is a save room, I think. Oh, if you cast Thunder on him. Oh, he casts Libra, and it reveals it's weak against Thunder. Let's see. Minerva Bustier, who we fighting for it? Oh, nothing bad. Nothing we can't handle. Hopefully I'll be able to do enough damage between Edge and Kane to be able to one-shot that wizard in the future. I think it has less than 10k HP. It's just annoying. Fine. Give me a ribbon. Counter takes a while to trigger too. It's a little frustrating. Definitely not instant. Nice. Okay. I want to use Cecil for this. His MP is useless otherwise. Pretty sure that one's ladies only. White robe is better though. I'm getting a pretty significant intelligence boost from the Luminous Robe. Magic defense goes way down. Defense goes way up, though. Speed goes way up. Stamina goes way up. I think that probably works out to having her be ultimately more tanky. Let's see. Her intelligence should still probably be... It's like gonna hit 99 anyway, just from leveling up before I get to the final boss. That's a pretty big hit for now. So I'll wait to use it until her intelligence would be 99 without the Luminous Robe equipped. That's fine. Get everybody back up. I feel like Trickster's a better name than if that's like the purpose of... If that's like what he does, you know? It's a neat exploration of the design space of the game. Like, you don't really think about a JRPG enemy using a scan ability on itself and then having an element trigger a different AI script. Kinda cool, actually. I feel like my main reason for using auto battle now is just to make sure that they input a command as soon as their turn comes up instead of me dicking around. Sure, I'm weak to lightning. Give it a try. Strength +2, speed +1. I definitely want that speed boost on Redia. Well, I assume speed is considered when determining your casting speed. Save point. Is there still a save point in this version? Hey, they're not mean. Very nice. That's good too. An hour of progress we would lose if I died right now. So basically you get in here with like 9 sirens, and then you, if you're trying to farm for the pink tail, you save here with all 9 of them. Then you go pop all of them, see if you get it. If you don't, load your save until you get the drop that you need. That sounds horrific. Especially since it's a bit of a walk to get over there and there's random battles on the way. Yucky, yucky. So abilities I'd get rid for Redia. I don't think she needs the MP up anymore. What does Analyze give you in terms of stats? Conceal sirens earlier in the game if you camp the locations of the Searcher Eye enemies. This one. I'll use that for now until she gets a natural at 99, and then I'll swap it back to the MP. Are they easy to steal? The Searcher Eye. Alright, so I'm just gonna blow through my the sirens that I have natively. I'm not going to stress about loading my save if I don't get a pink tail or a rainbow jelly to drop. What does the treasure hunter augment do? Does it increase drop rates? I guess I could also try to explore all the maps and see if I get it. I don't know if I missed any maps before. I might have, I'm not sure. Here to the stream, Ham Marstead, trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to beat them all. But that means we're never going to run out. You can see a list of all the games we've played so far, and YouTube playlist for all of them at games.marstead.com, and you can even vote for the next awesome game we're going to play. If you look in the top right corner of the screen, you'll occasionally see the voting spreadsheet display. It's also at that games.marstead.com link if you click on vote status. You're earning currency in chat right now, and you can spend that to vote. FF4 was actually voted for, which is why we're playing it. But if you're just hanging out or lurking, that's totally cool. Welcome, it's good to have you. Okie dokie. A bit of a walk here. Don't know what treasure hunter does. Doubles the drop rate of all items, so I may as well try to unlock that before I start. May as well. Not gonna happen, but you never know. In this case, you do know, and the answer is it won't. But I feel like the rainbow Flan thing would be less brutal if you actually reliably ran into putting enemies more often throughout the game. I only think of 3 or 4 dungeons where you run into them regularly. Always pretty good on these assholes anyway. Good job, Rosa. She's already at the spirit cap, but I don't know what other... Kick probably just gives strength, I'm guessing. And if they don't have an augment equipped, if they just have like one of their normal abilities, like white magic, it doesn't give them any stat ups when they level up. Is that how that works? Oh, that's so evil. So evil. Wish the Minerva Bustier didn't give you such a big hit to magic defense. I think that's the main thing we're worried about in the final boss fight. I don't even know if Zeromus uses physical attacks at all. I think it's all magic damage. Which means Edge is going to have a bad time, but you know what you're going to do. Correct. Cane was used as well. I don't think I have any stat changes I would really make for any of these upcoming optional fights. Golden apple. Does she have more HP than Cecil? She does. That's funny. That's a warp. gonna text Andrew real quick that I might be running over a bit today because of the Comcast delay. I guess they both have more than 10,000. Maybe I just thought the one in the back had more health because I was already focusing down the gold one. And Edge is paralyzed for most of that, so we're not seeing him do little bits of DPS. Cool. I like the value of Cry in a long battle. Probably unequip it from Kane right now. Like, I'm at the point where these fights are ending quickly enough. I should have had something like that equipped on him the whole time. I totally forgot. Bummer. Reducing the stat ups he's been getting. Oh well. Hey Ben. You starting to get angry already? You got like an hour and a half, buddy. Don't do that thing where you put one paw on the laptop again. Incredibly rude. Probably move the first option I have for Kane. Nice. I don't think haste makes the clock move faster in this one. Maybe you can only get away with stopping. Cecil seemed to die just as quickly. I could be wrong now. Where does this go? Oh, nice. So we'll get map clearance here. Sweet. That's fine. Need elixirs. All the secret bosses are on little weird teleporter secret path passes, I think, right? You don't just like ever walk into one. Oh, right, another protect ring for Rydia. Exciting. Shit. Cast blink on. Hey, buddy. Shadow Heart's votes. Nice. See if focus works with him. Not sure if it does. So awesome. Oof, owie. Oh, and this where Edge dies. Bye, Edge. Nice knowing you, buddy. Oh, wow. Didn't trigger the counterattack. That's very surprising. I think I'm really going to stick with the Defender for Cecil. I don't know. I don't remember if the Ragnarok gives bonuses to all stats or it's just a really high attack item. But Cecil's so tanky right now. I think that has a lot to do with it. Remember when these guys were really hard and I like warped out of the dungeon after every fight in Bahamut's cave? Now it's like, no big D. 99.99 jump. Well, that's cool. I guess focus works with jump. Headband. Really? Garbage drop, but okay. It's +4 strength for Kane. Okay, so I did screw up by not giving him adrenaline earlier and focus so that he could get more stuff, but... Oh, +15 spirit, stamina, and strength. That might be better then. Oh my god, Cecil, catch up. Yes. Brother is not a bad guy. Spirit does Cecil have right now? His Cura is healing for a shitload when I use it on the whole party. 65. Oh. Three Sirens. Scope that Protect Ring for Rydia. Right, seems correct. Stamina +15? God. Heck yeah. Can everyone use the Protect Ring? I don't know if I'm ever going to get a better pair of gloves for numbnuts over here. Giant seems to be where it's at. Really? Another save point? That's surprising. I guess I'm not going to complain, but okay. Thanks, game. It's nice of you. Disguise a super boss as a save point. I know, right? Looks like that's Ragnarok. I forget what boss that is. Oops. Probably Bahamut. New freebie enemy, at least. That's cool. Alright, let's see how this goes here. Got a save right outside, so I may as well try it. Power of the sword is abhorred by Zemus. Oh, thanks for the tip. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna open with a big, nasty kaboom, probably. Yep. Holy shit, we survived. Wow. I thought maybe, like, Cecil would survive and that was it. Rosa over there, with her 6,000 HP, seems to be doing just fine, though. She actually gets a pretty good heal out of, Prey now, actually. Focus. Slow, then I'll haste everybody. Oof, owie. $538 from Flare. Living the dream over here, nice. I guess I'll pick Numbnuts up first. I guess Brace is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that, but still, it's pretty good. I wonder why they call them Wyvern instead of Dark Bahamut. Reflect probably still works on my other stuff, right? I think it would still work on Stardust Rod. I don't want it reflecting and wiping the party. Could very easily happen. Ooh, when he reflects, my shenanigan doesn't work anymore. Think about that. Summons ignore, reflect though. Like, I've been in this mode where I've felt underpowered for the entire game, and I'm starting to get to the point where I'm kind of powered. Wouldn't say that I'm at the point of being OP yet, but... Counter Mega Flare, what? That's a super dick move. I'm 95% of the way through the game, I finally start to feel strong. Not true for every game, though. Some games you feel pretty strong with your build early on. It's fine, I can do this all day, take that standing up. Door-to-door petitions in Arkansas. I had a door-to-door person running for sheriff that needed me to sign a thing for him to be on the ballot. Sweet. That was relatively painless. Good job, Edge. Everyone's very proud of you. Now we'll see if it's a flat upgrade over Defender. I hope so. It is not a flat upgrade because it does not also increase defense by 20, but it raises everything else and it gets me to the stamina cap, so I'm already pretty close to the stamina cap without it. Yeah, okay. Plus 15 strength. So I'll have 99 strength and 99 stamina. Means I should probably focus harder on getting his speed stat as high as I can before the final boss. Or maybe his HP. I don't know. Yeah, stat caps are frustrating. There was still kind of sort of a technical limitation at the time, but you could still have gone to 255 and stretched it out. Diminishing returns are fine. Something I like about stat caps, though, if the game is balanced around them, is that it can give you a sudden reason to make an unusual change in your gear. Like, you know, normally I would never unequip the Illuminous robe from Rydia because the plus 15 intelligence is crazy busted, but I might consider it if she's already at the end cap. You kind of get some similar stuff with, like, Dark Souls equipment. I guess I want hit now. Let's do a quick pass and make sure everybody's looking good. No, we want the white robe, I think. That's how we get spirit to 99. Oh my god, they could think it was plus 25 spirit. Not fucking around. Great. What, if you're trying to do your, like, perfect save playthrough? Alright, so there's... I think there might be another warp that I missed. Hold on. I'm actually not sure about that. This map I completed, and I completed B5. B4 was already done. So maybe the other bonus bosses are further down in the dungeon. Kick its ass, Cecil. Oh yeah. Nice. As close to 999 damage as possible with each character. I think I have an opportunity to get 2 scripted ribbons, right? So I'll at least have 3 characters with ribbons. I'll have to figure out who they're going to, though. Definitely Rydia. Maybe Edge, since he sucks. He doesn't really have a better piece of headgear to my recollection. Red Fang. Looks like 2 random chests. Okay. Could probably start queuing Rosa to auto kick again. See how much damage it does. Given that I'm not really consumed, the reason I was having her auto pray was to keep MP flowing, but shouldn't need to do that now that these random battles are pretty easy. Let's see what happens. Way to go, Kung Fu White Mage. Sucks sometimes, you know that? Hey, thanks for the host, Maurice. How are you doing? Welcome everybody from Maurice's channel. You guys are having a good Thursday/Friday. What were you actually playing? So you have it marked as retro? If you are new to my channel, I'm Marstead, and I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe that there's so many awesome games out there that it's impossible for anyone to beat all of them. So you can see a list of all the games I've played so far if you head over to games.marstead.com. And you can even vote for the next awesome game we're going to play on stream. At that same link, there's a voting spreadsheet tab at the bottom, and you can see some of the commands you can enter in chat. You see one that you want to see us play. Hey, Lurking Fapper, what's groovin'? How you doing? Scott Pilgrim, nice. I don't think I played that game, but I've heard the soundtrack many, many times. It's Onomonoguchi, isn't it? Yeah. Every awesome game is pretty arbitrary, right? I have a Metacritic score. So, like, if it's above 75 on Metacritic, it's probably pretty awesome, but it's arbitrary, so sometimes we'll play a little bit under that if there's a good reason for it. Say hi, Fapper. I'm not shaking your hand. Doing well. Yeah, it's job security. Say you're going to beat every awesome game. I don't think you have enough time for anyone to play every game with a Metacritic above 90 in one human lifetime, but works out for me. If any of y'all are coming to PAX, PAX West, I actually have a panel. I'd love to have you. Don't know that it would be applicable to just about everybody, but it's about balancing streaming and family and house husband in addition to a streamer. Started your second playthrough. You go back because you have everything you want. Yeah, I hear that. I know, right? We get to a good number of them. I think we've played, I want to say 400 games on stream, and of those 400, we've beaten about 200 of them, and that's in like 4 years of pretty consistent Monday to Friday streaming. So we'll get a pretty good cross-section, I think. 3 onion swords and shields, 5 onion helms and armor. Wow. How much of that carries over to the third playthrough, Fappers? I think you get to keep all the onion gear and the adamant gear. Or everything you just list carries over. Hey Chaos, do you know if the West of Loathing, did that end up getting a Switch port yet? I heard it was supposed to. Fairly broad spectrum of a certain percentage of all games considered by some people to be awesome, just not quite the same ring to it, yeah. It's already on Switch, beautiful. Nice. I think when you first added it, you were just interested in playing it, but you hadn't beaten it yet. Do you still really like it after having played it? West of Loathing, that is. That's a bummer, man. I hate when he does that. It means I get no XP. Fortunately, he blew himself up much faster than he usually does, so it wasn't quite as punishing. It's incredibly rude. Hey, Quixotic. Cool name, how you doing? How's your week treating you? The Lance? I don't remember which fight this is. I guess we can find out. There's a save room next door. Not quite as good as Kingdom of Loathing. Yeah. Oh, this is... okay. So I gotta cast Stop on somebody, I think. Because he casts Doom on the entire party, which is bad news bears. It's impossible to be immune to it. It's fine. I might be able to cast Reflect on the party, though. I don't know if we can reflect it. We can try. I'll do a Stardust Rod, and then I'll pop Stop on someone, I think. Yeah, so I think I read about this. This boss casts haste on the party to make the timer go faster, but secretly, and I think this may have been a bug, it didn't actually have that effect in this game. It wasn't until Final Fantasy V that haste and slow affected the Doom timer. So the only way to change the speed at which it progresses is to cast stop on a character, I think. Onion Shield confers immunity to Doom. Interesting. I might have to cast Reflect on the boss so that I can cast Stop on somebody. I don't know why you cast Protect. Oh, I guess I do know why you cast Protect. A dummy. Reflect. So I can get Stop on folks. Means I have to start using Bahamut, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Haha. This my main source of damage. Don't heal. Okay. Not as bad as it could be. Okay, so I gotta get a stop off with Redia like now, or it's gonna be... Oh, we won! Never mind. I didn't have to do the mechanics. Although it looks like Kane's Doom counter doesn't keep counting when he's in the air, so that would be the other way around it. Just have him cast Phoenix down on somebody. Neato. Less XP than the 2 blue dragons. Alright, Holy Lance. I think we are going to beat this game today. I was kind of worried booting it up. Did they make him easier? Fine by me, I won't complain. Alright. Stamina debuff, but the attack is significant. The accuracy is significant. Well, let's pop over and tent up and heal. And save. And then let's go... I think we gotta pick up 2 ribbons. The only other item that I still need to get that's like from a special boss is Edge's other katana, right? The Masamune? I am, actually, Flarechew. The last couple sessions of this game have kind of been a drag, even though I really like Final Fantasy IV. I think I've said before that this is a game that I love holistically. I enjoy it as a whole package. I think it's bigger than the sum of its parts. But each individual part of Final Fantasy IV I kind of hate. Like, I get to a new dungeon, I'm like, God, I hate this dungeon. I hate this dungeon. I hate this dungeon. And I say it every single level. Then you'd be like, it sounds like you hate this game. Like, no, I love Final Fantasy IV. What are you talking about? But now that my party is finally getting to be kind of OP and I have this cool build that seems to work, I'm enjoying this dungeon. I think I would enjoy this game significantly more. Oh, I wasn't even farming, dude. It was just the fact that the random encounter rate is so high in this game that me just trying to get from one room to the next necessarily means I'm gonna get into like 50 battles. Like, I was about to say that I would enjoy this game 100 times more if it had a Bravely Default-esque disable random encounters setting, which apparently that does exist in the game. It's just you're not gonna get it until like 60% of the way through. Yeah, well, I mean, maybe not, but I feel like this game, unlike a lot of other Final Fantasies, like the core path of the game is balanced around you getting all of the treasures and all of the summons and stuff. Like, maybe not the map percent isn't as big of a deal, but like, I remember the final boss of this game being actually hard. It's not like Final Fantasy VII where, you know, you one-shot Sephiroth, no problem. The reason I'm going in and out of the dungeon, Flarechew, is because there are no save points in here, and if something lucky happens, like a good thing drops, and I've been in there for 3 hours, I don't want to like get into a random battle and die and lose 3 hours of progress. So teleporting out was with an abundance of caution. If there were save points near every room, if it was reasonable, then I wouldn't have to do that. So. Lunasaurs. these guys actually have a mechanic, or are they just... Oh, there's only one of them? I thought there were two. Oh, they have bad breath. Well, that answers my question. That might be reflectable. I don't remember though. And it's the Malboro bad breath is like less brutal. Oh, he's gonna counterattack. Oh, lucky miss. Ooh, Fowie. A good thing that she has a ribbon already. It's funny, it's like, this is the quintessential Final Fantasy situation where, like, there's these two bosses use bad breath on you, and it would be fantastic if I could, sorry, I'll use my words here. It would be fantastic if I could have ribbons on my party members so that they wouldn't get hit by bad breath. But I have to kill these guys to get the ribbons in order to have that advantage. Alright, I'll start clearing shit out. Reflect does not work on that. Okay. Oh, and Cecil can still be confused? That's super gross. In that case, I don't want the stuff that I've set up. So I don't think I can do a party-wide Asuna since I just cast Reflect on all of them. I guess I could dispel the party. Ouch. And then cast a party-wide Asuna. Yeah, I got one of them to drop. That was part of why I popped out Flare Choose Point. Oh, yikes. At least the confuse is over. Asuna is usually single target only, right? It's only because of that upgrade that I picked up. Oh, Asuna. Okay, for a second there, I thought it wasn't going to work with Confuse. I was very concerned. Death seems like an ink. Pretty efficient ink. Great. See if I can get people to jump here. Oops, I didn't mean to have auto battle on. My bad. I was just trying to trigger Brace, I think. That's fine. Stardust Rod might reflect, though. I'm not sure how that works. Yeah, it won't stop him from getting, wrecked by Confuse, though. That's what's getting me in trouble. Okay, that just skips Protect, that's nice. Or Reflect, I should say. Let's have her on staff to be ready to cast Asuna Hall. Stardust Rod is fine. Throw a regular shuriken over here. Which weapons are stronger than a shuriken? I'm guessing some of them are not. Nice. Could have sworn there were two of these guys. I'll probably throw all that junk in the final boss fight. Although, I guess... Let's see. Got 4 Fluma Shurikens. And with attack higher than 50. Okay. Because the Shuriken technically has an attack of 50, I assume. Only has 200. Okay. Ribbon is all upside, which is a treat. Also give you a little on the edge, I think. His defense goes down a hair. His magic defense goes up by 6, and his magic evasion goes up by 9. I don't like that it has a hidden effect. There's a couple items in this game with hidden effects. I guess the curse ring doesn't bother me. It's kind of meant to be a secret, but... I guess the cool thing about hidden effects is it creates that community aspect. You talk to other people about the game, like, oh man, did you know that when you equip this thing, it does this? I'm like, what? No, I had no idea. Dark Souls is very dependent on that feeling. Oh, poor Kane. The whole party is immune to the majority of status effects now, but Kane still kind of sucks. Poor guy. Alright, we're gonna pop outside, we're gonna cottage, we're gonna save. I'm very happy to not have to keep warping outside of this dungeon after every slightly dangerous event, now that we're actually kind of strong. I think we only have one more optional boss to fight, and it's the one that drops the other sword for Edge, and then we can go to the final boss. That's why Kane likes to cry. Maybe we'll luck out and fight some more wizard ladies, and one of them will drop a ribbon, a cute, pretty ribbon for Kane, but somehow I doubt that. Yeah. I think there can sometimes be value in obtuse things like that. Dark Souls manages to make it work by having player-to-player communication built into the game. Like, if you had an item that had a hidden effect, you could conceivably write a player message in front of it, though cryptic, that might tip the player off to what it does. But even then, the item descriptions are pretty good in Dark Souls about suggesting what stuff does. Check how many Mega Elixirs I have. I probably need to use at least one of those in the Zeromus fight to refill MP. Ouch, owie. Sweet. Only one Mega Plate, a Mega Elixir? Oh wow. Did they not exist in the base version of the game? That's crazy. Dude, he hits so hard now on that counterattack. It's grand. Rose easing kick is pretty funny. It made sense for a while. I got some value out of it. She would have the Medusa arrows equipped, so I could use kick and have a pretty good chance at petrifying a large enemy party. Dude, he hits so hard, I love it. He's hitting for like 2k with the defender. Get it, Rosa. Spirits climbing up there. Right. I wonder why they changed that. I mean, I'm glad they did. I think that consumable ammo is a bad idea. It requires way too much micromanagement. But you'd think that they would have thought about it and, like, changed some of the other loot in the game, so if there's only one source of each kind of arrow. Flare 2, is there anything you were thinking about voting for? Counterattack does like 99.99 now, yeah. It only took the entire game, but Cecil's finally a good source of damage. Game 706 is good to go for. Oops. Oh, Radiate got Meteor. Cool. Is it really worth using Meteor? It's basically just Flare all, right? I imagine it's comparable damage to Bahamut. I guess maybe that's what you get it for, is if you didn't get Bahamut in your playthrough. Ouch. Surprised there's not like a stat stick weapon I can give to Rosa to give her a small stamina or speed boost or something. I don't think she gets anything like that. Oof, owie. Palom learns Meteor before Flare. What do you have to do to get Flare for Palom? I'm surprised that they, like, statted them out that far. I guess you can use both of them in the Game Boy Advance version of the game, and only the Game Boy Advance version of the game. This game has a boatload of versions for whatever reason. +4 strength, man. Kane gets a couple more levels. He might already have 99 just from his equipment. Sorry, Flare 2. What's happening, we were playing Xenosaga, Episode 1, and there's a character in that game whose name is Chaos, like lowercase c, H-A-O-S. It's pretty ridiculous. But Chaos Factory kept going like, what? Sorry man, I'm bugging you. Earns Flare first in this room, 50, and then Meteor 5. I did. Lowercase c Chaos. She hits pretty hard with kick. I mean, it's not great, but given that it's from the back row and by a white mage, she's doing almost as much damage as Edge with it. Props. I should have switched him to get all speed. That's okay. Oh no, please tell me that's worried. Pearl Whiskers. Lunar Core. Or the Subterrane still. Pretty crystal area. I don't know which one's progress. I feel like right is progress. Okay. Get a random battle against these assholes? Are you kidding me? It's not cool. I turned stupid for a second, sorry. Got what I was doing. Fry. Throw. Brace. Everything in this area is terrifying. It's like there's an area just like this in Final Fantasy IX. There's a reference to this in a couple other FF games. But I believe that the speedrun is almost totally safe, except for you fight death guys again in the equivalent area in FF9, and it's like I want to say like 16 hours into the speedrun or something crazy. It's really far into the run, and that's where you have the highest chance to RNG to just fuck you and end the run for no reason. Battle against 3 red dragons. They couldn't all fit on the screen, so only showed 1. And it had a 3 by his name. I've seen them do it where they like stack the enemies on top of each other without you realizing it. I forget which Final Fantasy has that, where that's like the gimmick in a battle. There's like 20 guys all stacked on top of each other. Kane's hitting pretty hard now too, it's very nice. Bye, Edge. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Right. It's puzzling, but I understand what happened now. Cecil's gonna miss out on this sweet, sweet Behemoth XP. Too bad. It's a bummer. Keep dropping headbands, man. That shit. Does intellect affect damage from ninjutsu? Let me switch Rosa back to using Ray, I think. Man, I wish more of the game was all like blocky and tiley like this. Make finding your way around a lot easier. That was a waste. Shit, what is this guy's deal? I don't remember this at all. You need to put a 0 in front of that, but change or Game 06. Yeah, that hurts. So much for being buff in the endgame. Oh, awesome. I actually added that game to the spreadsheet myself. I really want to play it. I like XCOM. I like Mario. I like Gold. I like Showers. Can't go wrong. I think I own it already. Check. Ouch, owie. Probably worth casting slow on this guy if I get a first turn in the future. I like how it doesn't try to heal Kane if he wasn't around when she first targeted everybody. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna heal him. It's bad, he wasn't here. You already an XCOM fan? I had never played XCOM before streaming, and some folks added it to the voting spreadsheet, and I ended up enjoying it a lot. Some of the best time I've ever had with a tactical RPG. The genre is a little problematic at times. Even if the game is good, with tactical RPGs, it can be rough to watch on stream, but it's hard enough that it stays interesting. So that's a dead end. This is actually a pretty big dungeon, a lot of really hard enemies. It is, because every random battle is hard here. Sounds like the Mario one was pretty well handled too. Like, as if shit wasn't ridiculous enough. It's not really to cast Blink on. Well, I want Cecil to be counterattacking, which he doesn't do if he dodges an attack. Every random battle, because I don't think you can run from any of these fights either. So I'm not 100% sure about that, but... Later, Flirchu. Thanks for hanging. I might have to leave this room and go back and save after I fight Ogopogo. Actually, yeah, because I don't think there's another save point before Zeromus, right? Unless if they were extra kind, like they were, for whatever reason, they added a save point right outside the Ragnarok boss's room. Which suggests to me, at least, that they expect you to have that item for the final boss fight, if they make it that easy for you to obtain it. Hey, true. This would be a super swell area to not have encounters. I feel like what you do is you just come in this dungeon with the no encounters augment and you just pick up all the chests, ignore the bosses, and then go fight the bosses with the OP equipment. Okay, I think Rosa has to start using Prey again. Make sure that I've got her. I think I can kitted her back out with it. Maybe I'll every day use Bless as well. Catch up everybody's MP here. I'm a shuriken. Make sure you got a bunch of those for the final boss. Alright, let's slow this jerkwad. At least he doesn't seem to counterattack anything. And then I'll pop Bless after this, should be fine. Start using Prey every turn. He got around to casting Reflect on himself last time, that's a little bit worrisome. Me versus Zeromus. I hope so. That's kind of why I've been going out of my way to get everything. I usually don't try to get all the optional stuff on stream, but I just remember him being brutally hard. Just like spamming party-wide attacks every turn. Except I don't think I've ever beaten him. If I did, it was maybe once. Like maybe I played the PS1 version and finished him. I'm pretty sure I've done just about everything else in the game. I don't think I ever got the pink tail to drop. I feel like I may have been farming it in the hope that I could use the thing from it to have a better time against him. B9? What's B9? I don't have a map for B9. Alright, I'll finish clearing this. Had to try again on the emulator so I could farm. Yeah, put it on fast forward, right? casting slow on this dude. Yeah, and safe state abuse. He like goes ahead and reflects the party for me after reflecting himself. Now, this floor has it's an actual tile-based area, which is really nice. Oh man, you know, I wonder if I wonder if Stardust does damage based on defense. It compares against defense instead of magic defense, because when Cry isn't up, it only does 7,000 damage, but if Cry is up, it does up to 99.99. I think that's pretty consistently been true. Ow. Sure. I love having physical attackers that do a bunch of damage and I don't have to wait for the spell animation. Nice. A giant head, man. He's pretty rough. He's got like 100,000 hit points, it seems like. At least 50,000. Back to the prey spam when I can. Alright. Let's get Edge's other ultimate weapon. Who is this? This is Ogopogo. Okay. So I think he's just a lot of water damage. I don't think he's particularly nutty. I don't have any gear changes for it. Rosa doesn't have a lot of MP, which is troublesome. Non-transferable rare helmet drop, so you only care about it if you're doing a playthrough on your third round. What does the helmet do? Alright, it's not so bad. Could be worse. My spider silk. Try to pop Karaja here. That might actually kill people this time. Wow, way to go, Rhea. See if I can get a party-wide shell out. I'm gonna start getting more MP for Rosa, it's gonna be a bad news bears type situation. We also have Rhea cast Bless, which will help a little bit with the MP problem. I think Brace is actively worse if you try to cast it again, because in the cast time window, it stops working. Rise, chicken. Nice, 300 damage. I love it. It's like Brace works until you cue another action, including Brace. So if you activate Brace the second time, it doesn't work until it triggers. So once you've done that, you kind of just want to do nothing with Cecil on his turn, I think. Try doing party-wide shell here. I'll start using prey. Counterblaze. Yeah, that hurt a bit. It wasn't great. I'm super happy about it. Yeah, so there was Cecil didn't benefit from Brace because I re-queued it so I could get Prey to trigger. Defense. Block status effects. Even Prey doesn't work on poor Kane. So what that suggests to me is that she's not just generally praying for the party, she's specifically praying for whoever's around at the time. She's like, please protect us, but not Kane. He doesn't deserve it. That went well. So it was the fights down here are easy enough that I can probably get away with going to the next floor and finishing map completion before I go back and save for the final boss. There might still be another save point on B9. It seems like they added at least one extra save point to this game. So maybe they're going to be extra nice. Wrong guy. Alright. Yeah. Like Final Fantasy 1, if you targeted all enemies, if you targeted enemy A and then your ally killed enemy A, you would just whiff in their space instead of actually attacking them. Yeah, the thing with defend is, oh shoot. Sorry. The back, you guys can see it again. Okay. It looks like I'm dropping some frames again, like at the beginning of stream, but it doesn't seem as bad as it was at peak bad. So hopefully it stays chilled out. The beginning of stream is really bad. It was like 30% of frames are being dropped. I was just relieved to call Comcast and it was already acknowledged in the automated system. They will acknowledge total outages, but it's kind of hard to get somebody on the phone who understands what just upload degradation is. Like, but I can see that you're connected. I'm like, I know. It's less miserable with business, at least. Twitch is being janky in general today. See, like an outpays incoming damage with Prey. I think that Stardust checks enemy physical defense for some reason. It really seems to be the case. If I manage to remember to use Cry, then I consistently do almost 99.99 with the Comet. I don't think that's just confirmation bias. Power Armlet, is that rare? Yeah, one day. We'll tell our kids about frame dropping and intermittent outages and they'll stare at us in disbelief. I mean, I guess the problem is, like, I'm already streaming so close to my bandwidth cap and I already pay $125 a month to get 10 Mbps up. So if there's a little bit of a... Oh no, Power Armlet's not special. Bummer, I was all excited. If there's a little bit of degradation, you can feel the hit immediately. You know, if I had like 100 Mbps up, it wouldn't be a big deal. This is so sad. Let's see if I can get away with just staying on auto battle for a Behemoth fight. Should probably get Cry equipped. I don't want to do it for every battle, but just for now until I get Rosa's MP back up. I think you get a full heal before Zeromus, right? One of the NPCs out there tops you off, Rubicante style. I already foresee this taking longer than expected, so I'm gonna go ahead and officially move the goalpost forward here. Seems more likely. Credits maybe. Oh right, Maelstrom. Should watch out for that anyway. I hit Prey queued. By Edge, probably. By... because he had Brace queued somewhere. Oh, nice. Well, he'll get a rise then. Oh, wait. He's also just fine. Works for me. That's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing is ruined. Tile-up's pretty funny. There's a pretty dated joke on Futurama about the professor needing to use the phone while they were on the internet. Tankiest Rosa setup ever. Yeah. I think she takes comparable damage to Cecil. I mean, granted, she doesn't have Brace. She has way more HP than he does. I can't afford to have her die, man. Like, I don't even have like a decent pick everybody up backup character. If she goes down, it's basically GG. I was worried that was gonna happen. I can't run away. Yeah, AOL has 2 million customers. Just people that are still on auto-subscribe, right? That don't even realize it. I think is the main source. I've heard anyway. So much for running away. Too much work to run away. Fuck's the play names. She can actually only get dial-up? No kidding. I didn't realize anyone's in that situation. I know that rural broadband is bad, but I was under the impression that like you could get really crappy version or at least satellite. Satellite sounds awful. I don't think I could make that work in my life with my internet demands. Slow. Fry. Oops. Fry. Attack. Stardust Rod. Bye, Cecil. I love you. I should probably just go back to opening these fights with Blink All. You can kill him easily enough after that. I think the 3 Blink stacks are enough for the whole party to survive the rest of the combat. Just get out of the way now. I don't think the boss does anything other than physical attacks and then Maelstrom, so the Maelstrom can't kill you. Oh no, Aki. Yikes. Oof. That sounds horrific. I still remember It's a U.S. problem. Like when Andrea and I visited Japan for her science conference. We were at the where was it? Nagoya. We were in a hotel in Nagoya, which isn't. I mean, it's a city, but it's a little bit more rural than like Tokyo. And our internet in the hotel was good enough that I could stream on it, like at full bit rate, which is insane. Like, I've been to hotels in the United States that will charge you to have email-only internet. All these headbands I don't need. Kane's up to 97 strength, so that's cool. I really hope they added a new kindness save in here somewhere. So I think if I get the Behemoth fight, I can cast Blink on everybody and then auto-battle for the rest of it and use Prey to catch up on Rosa's MP. It's fine, I guess. Oof. Back attack. Gross. Did not mean to auto-battle the circle. Could be worse. It's an infrastructure problem, but like the issue is that, sure, you know, why don't they just fix our infrastructure problem? And I get that it's not trivial to solve, but we have placed basically no priority on solving it, and that's really the issue. We could spend the money, we've chosen that it's not important. And the frustrating thing is that the excuse keeps coming back to, oh, well, you know, most people only use the internet for email, and they don't really need to have high bandwidth down and up. But it's holding back innovation because people aren't coming up with ideas because they can't rely on everybody having a really nice internet package, you know? That's what's frustrating to me. I personally feel like, yeah, it would suck and would be expensive to start working on a solution, but we should at least try. Because right now we're not at all. Yeah, I agree. I'd go so far as to say that it's a human right. I mean, you can't apply for a job anymore without the internet. Think about how expensive the interstate system was in the United States. Trillions of dollars, I think it was. What do you think about like the overall value it's created for the economy since its inception? Tier of necessity below electricity itself, and that's pretty fair. Please tell me I don't have to. Oh, thank you, God. Lucked out there. Okay, gotta be really careful right now. Berserk this guy. Trigger brace. Imagine AC is non-negotiable in Arizona. You would just die if you didn't have it. Phoenix is also a monument to man's arrogance. Yeah, right, Chaos. It's like walking on the surface of the sun. Oh, cool. Thanks, Leon. Take a look at it. I think, in terms of things we should be spending money on but aren't, probably in my top 5. Let's say healthcare, education, internet infrastructure. Oh, what was the other one? I was just thinking of it. Fusion. Seen that really depressing graph of like where they projected how long it would take to achieve sustainable fusion back in the 70s, and they were like 70s level of funding, and then there were like 3 different levels of aggressiveness. And the 70s level of funding was called Fusion Never. Like we're never going to achieve it because we're not spending enough money on it. And we're spending like 1/3 of Fusion Never. No! Please tell me. Whew. Thank God. Am I gonna get the treasure hunter augment? Oh, maybe I still have to do this, man. Non-internet infrastructure. There you go. I guess you could generalize fusion to like just energy in general, but. Once I finish casting that, I think I can just auto-battle. I should be able to, as long as Brace is active, I should be able to outpace the Red Dragon's damage to Cecil. Should probably stop and cast Cry, though. So I did an order. Healthcare would be number... Healthcare is like Meta Knight tier. You know how in Smash Brothers Brawl, Meta Knight was so good that he had his own tier, and then after that was like S tier? So make sure that shit's taken care of. Then education, then internet. Then energy. And then non-internet infrastructure. I think they give you a rebate for using solar panels. Pay extra because power companies are good build passing opinion. Huh. It's kind of messed up. And the energy we have right now is fine. You know? I think there's probably more myth than legend when it comes to energy and fusion, but like the idea of a post-scarcity society, kind of awesome. Yeah. There is kind of a working model of it out there. I wonder what triggers this guy to use laser barrage. I think I've thought, are there multiple versions of this head that behave differently or something? I'm running into versions of the head that just reflect and then manually attack. Guessing that thing counts as magic damage. Kiraj is doing pretty well. But this whole conversation is extremely why don't they just... If I existed in a reality where I were the sole arbiter of everything... The ultimate world dictator. Try to make that happen. In that order. I don't think I'd be a good dictator. A lot of people think they'd be a good dictator. Should vote for me in the upcoming dictator elections. Yeah. I think it's kind of tough to get a lot of people on board with that premise, though, this name, although I totally agree, like... It's one of those things where the problem is so massive. It's easy to imagine, oh, I want to make the world better for my children and grandchildren, but, like, thinking about making the world better for hundreds or thousands of years in the future... Remember this lady from, I think it's called the Long Now Project, gave a talk at OSU when Andrea was getting her PhD there. Oh wait, no, she just talked about the Long Now Project. It was the lady who Contact is based on. I forget the actual scientist's name. Long Now Project has this, like, clock that has shitloads of digits in it. Just is like a symbolic effort to try to think on a longer time scale, plan on a longer time scale than humans typically do. Pretty bad at planning for, like, next week. That was Mars. Should be easy, it just needs a small garden and water. Done. Yeah, you're right, Aki. That's the stressful part. Trying to think about, like, what is the fundamental human flaw that is responsible for most of our strife. Short-sightedness is probably pretty high up there. I think confirmation bias is pretty high up there. I don't know if it's as simple, like, greed? Spite, really. I think it's something more innocuous. I don't think it's something that's necessarily evil. It's just something that's kind of unfortunate. It's like a niche that evil happens to thrive in, if that makes sense. Oh, that's on Switch? I'm interested in it. I think I hate Monster Hunter, though. I feel bad. I'm sorry to anyone who likes it. I think it's like Persona. I had to play Monster Hunter World to understand that I feel that way. Lack of self-awareness. I could give you a top 5. I'm buffering again. Apologies. Type in the chat again. As long as I'm just doing random battles, I'll keep going in here. God, I hope there's a save point down here, because if I want to back out and save with all the stuff I've gotten, I gotta fight through all these boss fights again. I guess I could put Rosa on autocast teleport, because that would explain why I've never beaten this game if I had to make this run every time. Salty run back to fight the boss. The Diablo 3 Switch announcement's kind of exciting. I could see playing that at like PAX or something. No, because that gives a treasure augment. Yeah. I thought the same for a second. Yeah, what's going on with that? I guess just do online not sucky is also a why don't they just request, but it still feels like the ball has been kind of dropped. Oh no. Okay, keep that brace up. Stay off auto battle. Try to cast a party-wide Arise. Just really unlucky order of attacks there, I think. It's fine. Do that all day, I don't mind. It's not bad. Very nice crit. Ow. Sorry, Rydia. Yeah. Well, voice is hard. Especially if they've never had voice on a system in the past, which they haven't, right? Like, we're kind of spoiled by good, functioning voice protocols, I feel like. And even getting back to the save point is going to be rough, because I'm going to have to walk through this entire area. It's like, don't want to teleport out of the dungeon. Actually, I'm not sure what would take longer. Teleporting out of the dungeon. People would pay Xbox Live PSN prices, yeah. It's true. You think if I just beeline it to the exit, it won't be quite so bad? I'm less concerned with map completion, and I'm more concerned with getting all the chests. Although I think there might not be any more valuable chests in this crystal area. See, if I were to teleport out in Cottage, I would put Rosa on auto battle teleport, like we were doing in the Sylph Cave, and just try to beeline my way out of here. Hi Ben, are you hungry? Yes, I love you too. I love you too, Marty. I will go over to finish today since we got delayed by Comcast being a butt. Yes, I've been. Ow. I might take a quick break to feed them just so they don't, like, destroy my stream battle station. I guess if I have to leave and come back, I won't get stuck going the wrong way on the map, because I'll already have it uncovered. B11's the last 4 with useful chests. There's so many ores here, it's awful. They didn't learn their lesson from Final Fantasy III. Let's tell Zemus. That's kind of cool, from like a flavor perspective. B11's the last mappable floor. I think this guy's gonna be really easy because I think he tries to cast Libra on the whole party, but he'll only be able to cast it on Cecil because of my draw attacks. It's kind of funny. I can still do Mind Blast though. To decide here. Do I walk back to the save point? I could also just try to fight Zeromus without saving. Ugh. It's gonna... Either way, it's gonna take, I think, an extra 30, 45 minutes if I want to get back to a save, whether I teleport out or walk out. It's a really hard call. That attack takes so long. He has to have his dialogue, then he has to have the spell animation, and then the text box showing the analyzed status lasts longer than just about any other text box. Probably because there's a holdover of the text box displaying the stats. Should probably slow him just so that he doesn't get to keep using that long-ass animation. At least I can still run from this fight, it looks like. He can be stopped. That sounds great. Does the Holy Lance occasionally cast Holy after you finish attacking with it, or does it have to be used in order for Holy to trigger? let me officially go ahead and start trying to just run from every fight if we can. Could set everyone else to defend. We'll see what happens. She tends to act pretty early and gets to cast pretty fast, so it shouldn't be too disruptive, I think. At least I hope. Look at this long, this is such a troll long hallway. This is the long hallway. I think I am going to pop out and save after. Nope, I did not get the treasure hunter augment. Okay. So, we have to think here about the value of going back to the save point. If we go back to the save point, then all the XP we've gotten from all of the boss-like enemies down here will be preserved. The Masamune will be preserved. I haven't gotten any loot or significant items, but I won't have to go to any of the chests. Good fly from the edge. Ugh. I mean, if I die, I have to walk all the way through here anyway. Just give me a save point here. They give me a save point for the Ragnarok boss. Come on, game, be nice. I suppose that's true. Okay. Really don't want to, though. Really don't want to. Do I have anything else I can really justify changing here? I have 16 elixirs, so Cecil can be on elixir duty. Let me check everyone's abilities, get her off of this crap. If I were to have her auto something, if I need MP, I'm not going to be using Prey, I'm going to be using elixirs. So there's nothing I can give her on auto that she can't do normally. I guess Prey, or aim maybe, but even that would be kind of a waste. That's fine, I just won't use auto battle at all. I'm also going to turn the combat speed down. It's a final battle, it doesn't really matter. I need to go all the way to slow, but... Alright, let's see. She doesn't need to analyze anymore, let's give her the MP back, so that she hopefully never runs out. He has no other options. I think the stuff that I've selected for him is pretty good. Keep Brace on auto battle. Don't need Level Lust, but I don't think he has another choice. I guess I could try to steal the Dark Matter, but no reason to since I'm not doing another playthrough. Rosa... I want all of those things. I want her to be super duper tanky. I don't have any augments, right? Alright, off we go.
Golbez! Fusoya!
I really like this fight because Golbez had a cool party member sprite. Maybe he'll have, he kind of has one in this one too. Is there any gimmick to the final boss of this game? I think you have to use a crystal on him to be able to fight him, right? But other than that, like, you don't have to use the crystal multiple times, you don't have to steal the dark matter, you don't have to cast Reflect on anybody, you don't have to use Blink, other than like the standard Protect Shell haste buffs. Ugh. Twin Meteor. They called that X Meteor or W Meteor. Oh, nice. Broke the damage limit. That's cool. That makes that seem way cooler than it did in the original game. Do damage and don't die. Should be able to do that. My only concerns are staying on top of MP, which I think I can do with my elixirs. I'm basically gonna have Cecil be my item guy.
We did it. What a waste. Such incredible power. And all of it warped to evil ends.
Hey!
What are his counters?
Oh, you've come.
Looks like we were too late.
Yeah, I could always just attack
You were
once per
supposed to
turn.
leave him for me.
Cecil.
Never beaten this guy before. Haven't saved in like an hour. Fingers crossed.
Oh my god. Oh my god! Although actually it was sort of obvious.
Someone with Osmos, that's rude. And presumably his counter ignores Reflect. I guess I also can't really use Reflect because I won't be able to kill the party.
No! Death only fueled the evil within him.
I'm gonna fuck them.
No, Zeromus.
It's very Japanese.
This time I will finish what I set out to do.
11th hour final boss.
Zeromus, Begone!
Like how we're all okay with the name he wants to be called. Yeah, right. Would be great chaos. Cinematic free final boss is actually the real final boss, just to screw with you. You tread the path of darkness. Oh yeah, Demon Souls did do that. You kind of had a real final boss in the area that was a prerequisite to getting to the game's technical true final boss. But yeah, I thought that was really cool about Demon Souls. I feel like that could have worked in Dark Souls 1 as well. Gwyn could have been just like a hollow. I'll staunch your hate. His sprite looks a lot sillier as a 3D model.
Elder! Cecil and the others!
Indeed. Now is the time we pray
Hey,
for
let's do
them.
the Earthbound thing.
No, for the entire world. Hallam, Odin,
Get their spirit bomb
we
shit together.
must see that all the prayers made here reach Cecil and his friends on the moon. Cecil, my friend,
This is your chance. Please have courage.
we'll all be waiting.
You might be right,
for you.
Spiky.
For the turn's sake. For the sake of the whole earth.
Rise up! Our prayers.
You guys remember when we played Demon Souls? Like, you just walk into this room and there's like this sludge, and you just hit it like once or twice. It doesn't fight back.
Everyone!
Great moon, please hear our prayers.
Brother.
battle. It must be you.
Thanks, Golby. Bye, Lurking Fapper. Thanks for popping around. Nice to see you.
Zeromus. This is the end for you, not us.
I feel like the game that has most earned the Spirit Bomb ending that I've ever played is probably still Earthbound. The fact that it actually requires you to use combat commands and stay alive for it to work. Just give me strength. Cinematically, this fight's really cool. Got that mode 7. You guys keep praying through the fight and like heal me to full every turn. You guys are like right there. Yeah, moons give me strength. Shine your light upon them. Sorry to tell you this, Fusoya. It's not how moons work. Oh, to fill the crystal. Okay. Now, do I have to immediately use a crystal, or can I dick around and like cast buffs before I use it? So I don't think buffs matter in this fight. I think he consistently uses an attack that clears all of them, if I recall correctly. Can dick around a little bit. May as well get some haste at the start. It's probably the thing I'll most likely benefit for before he negates shit. Nothing else I really want to trigger. So cast slow on him too. Oh, but I can use Cry on the final boss. It's so stupid. Party-wide non-elemental damage and spells your buffs. Yep, that sounds right. Osmos is pretty gross. Oh yeah, Osmos is the whole party? That's really gross. Ew. Alright, well I should be careful with that then. Good job there, Rosa. Should probably proc Bless. Hey, got the dark matter. I didn't know he was supposed to have a face in there. He said kind of an over-the-top, ridiculous sprite. Shuriken's height. I guess I could just have Rydia not... She could probably cast Bio. Not that it's going to help a lot, but just so that there's always damage happening. Probably keep Rosa on standby for a party heal. Oh my god. And that saps everyone. Yikes. And when he starts shaking, that's a heads up he's about to use Big Bang, I think. Is a status effect removal. I don't think it also does damage. I think she ended up getting Bio off, did she? It looks like he's just affected by Cry. I mean, slow didn't work either. Cosmos, even if someone doesn't summon. Bye, Rydia, probably. Oh wait, no. That's cool, the counter on Flare gets redirected to Cecil instead of landing on Rydia. 66, 66. How much HP does this guy have? Okay, shenanigans again in a second. Try having people defend. I don't think defend applies to magic damage though. 150k. So 59, 999, 99 attacks. Who survives it? There's a question here. Oof. Wish that would have triggered after the Arise, but oh well. So every time he uses Big Bang, the entire party is going to die. Big Bang is magic damage. I think, based on his AI script, he might not use Black Hole until after Big Bang, so maybe I can try to get Shell out there in time. Let's see. Thank God for Omnicasting. That's what's going to make this fight viable. There's no real other way to resurrect multiple people on the same turn, I think, right? Oh, why is that not... Oh, Flare all? Oh, ew. That's not so bad. Could have been way worse. Like, Rydia can pretty easily be your like main source of damage in this fight. Other than Phoenix. But in the base game, there certainly wasn't a way to get multiple reses at once. Which is part of what's so surprising to me, that the base game worked, you know? So far, Osmos isn't as bad as I was worried it was going to be. I think he has unlimited MP. I doubt they actually have real MP in this game. The game that's done that best, I think, is Final Fantasy VI, where, like, if you deplete an enemy's MP, they die. So a viable strategy for some enemies. Alright, so anything with over 50 attack, you said will be pretty good. Just keep doing the craziest shit. There goes Shell. wasn't as good as a Fusoya. Too bad. Star Ocean games let you kill enemies via MP draining. Very nice. That's pretty good value right there, because the flare goes on Cecil. That shit's coming soon. Jump before Big Bang? Nope. No, sir. Make sure Rosa consistently has full resources, and we should be fine. Gonna die from that sap. Just too bad. Usually his jump hits really hard. Meteor. Don't do that, dude. Oh god. He's gotta be low on health if he's casting Meteor though, I assume. Hey, Six Gun, how's it going? Yeah, I've been trying to wait to take her turn for as long as I possibly can delay, basically. Can I throw? An axe wasn't super great. Whoa. Uh-oh. Oof. Hope it doesn't counterattack that throw. Oh, he died because of, shit, right. Forgot about that. Yeah, it would be. He died because of, sap from earlier. Please trigger, please trigger. Wait, why did Kiraja not go? It said she had Kiraja pending and it didn't go? Oh no. Okay, Kane's in the air. We might be okay. He has 7 HP though. I had Kiraja pending. Okay, hold on. I gotta make a decision here. Nope. She died from sap. Fuck, I'm so dead. He's so close to being dead too. I could have jumped with Kane there and tried to buy the end of the fight. That's fine, I can do whirl. No, I need to elixir her. Oh, my heart's pounding. Come on, give it to me, game. Please. Sorry, Ben, I know you're hungry. Yeah, I should plug in my heart rate monitor real fast. So we gotta let somebody die if they get zapped, because otherwise Whirl is gonna kill them. I do not deserve to be alive right now. Kane has 22 HP. Looked out and I'm using Osmos and some other dumb bullshit. You can't remove sap though, right? Can it be a Sunid? I was under the impression that the only way to remove sap was to die. At least in the base game. Hey! First time ever. Whew, yeah, my heart rate got up to like 160, 170 easily. After it was down to just Kane. I really didn't want to lose an hour. Hour and a half, I think it would have been. So I think most of that window was spent dicking around just trying to catch back up. If I had had Kane jump, I would have won. Well, it's fun now that I won Chaos, but yeah. Alright, this is blind for me now. I've never seen anything after that boss. Meteor Phase starts at 30k HP. It's something he stops using Big Bang after that. I think the only reason I won that fight is because of how tanky I made Rosa. She never got one shot if she was at full resources.
I had no idea there was such strength in
I would have
you.
used a Mega Elixir if I had realized that her dying and getting Phoenix blocked her Kiraja. But it still showed, I think it was a bug, it showed Kiraja on the cast bar at the bottom.
It does rather look that way, doesn't it?
But what of the final words Zeromus spoke?
As long as there is darkness.
There will always be evil in men's hearts.
Sounds like that's a plant for
We all of
after
us
years.
bear a touch of darkness, just as surely as we bear light, much as with the twin sets of crystals. And the darkened underworld that rests beneath your planet's brighter surface. But as long as there is darkness,
We've been streaming for 3.5 hours.
so will
I
there
correctly predicted
always be
the
light.
entire end of the game.
Just
The second
as
half of the
light
final
within
dungeon was
you
4 hours.
rose
Hi, Ben.
to overcome the shadow cast by Zemus.
Well, now that you mention it, I did feel a bit of glow.
Thanks, Edge.
Are you joking? It's a miracle Zemus didn't end up using you.
My love of justice kept him at bay, no doubt.
Well,
We almost
then,
died.
the time has come for me to join my people in their sleep.
So I think that
What will
fight
you do now?
and its results justify all of the time I spent getting
We
all
will
the
return
summons and
to our
all the
planet.
items and shit
Our
because,
friends
like,
are waiting.
it was on the
I see.
fucking wire
You
a couple
are
times
lucky
there.
to have
I needed to be
such
doing
friends.
99.99 damage per hit with everybody.
I look forward to the day we can meet again.
Might you
If we had walked in and, like,
to
Sephiroth
accompany
style
you?
one-shot him,
You
then I would have felt bad.
join me?
I would. I cannot return. Not after all I've done. And I would very much like to meet my father's people. At least one time.
What would I usually be using
I
dual cast
see.
for in that fight?
Yes, our blood flows
Raise
in
plus
your veins,
shell?
too. You know this will be a very long slumber.
I do. Cecil, you called me brother. I suppose I can expect no more than that. All you've suffered until now has been because of me.
You're getting mind controlled,
We
dude.
must go now. And
This isn't
sleep.
complicated.
We will pray for the peace of your planet.
I wonder if they changed that backstory
Come.
stuff to make it...
Let us go.
Because there's still some
Yes.
dialogue that's carried over that's like, oh, there's darkness
Is
in
this
your
all right,
heart.
letting him go?
Your brother.
I feel like when I first played this game, it seemed a lot clearer that Golbez was...
Farewell.
a bad guy that was kind of being influenced.
Cecil?
It felt more like a redemptive arc in the original. Dropping frames again. Apologies. Bad timing. Comcast. There it goes.
Farewell, my brother.
Yes, also get your shit together, man. He helped you. He's still dressed like that inside of the... Oh, okay. Huh. Like, I liked the Darth Vader redemption arc is how I interpreted Golbez when I played this game originally. This one kind of makes it seem like he's just been, like, mind controlled. Birth from womb of dragon's wand, born into the stars, by light and darkness cast aloft, and dream pen oaths resworn. Swapped and ever light, ne'er again to no eclipse, earth hallowed bounty reconciled. Fleeting is the reverie when moon from shadow has egressed, guided forth anew by light made manifest. Yeah. Two bound by ties of blood, by time and fate, then rest apart, to lunar light and Gaian breast. But that's more in line with what Sakaguchi kind of goes for. I was talking in Discord about the revelations about FF7's translation misusing the word clone in English, which confused everybody. And we said this a lot when we were playing FF7, when it was like 4 years ago now. You never fight Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII. You see him in flashback, and there's a symbolic sequence that involves the real Sephiroth at the very, very end of the game, the Omnislash fight. But other than that, it's Genova. You're fighting Space Cthulhu. Well, I guess Cthulhu is Space Cthulhu. Fighting JRPG Cthulhu. It's super interesting to me that everyone's like, well, it's going to be hard to forgive Cain. It's like, it's not his fault. Do you need to be pissed at someone for the whole game because someone cast Charm on them? Two more hours of spell transcription. I think I've heard this theme before. I think Uematsu's masterpiece credits theme is FF6. It's so good. It's like 12 minutes long or something, and it has like every character's motif in it. Yeah, right, Chaos. Why do I have fangs? I want to be the same as you. Do twice as much damage if they make him cry first. Later, Chaos. Happy dinner making. Thanks for hanging out. I may do more La Mulana 2 tonight. I do have to watch Cameron again tomorrow, but I will not have to on Saturday, Sunday, so it's more likely that I'll go late on Friday. Tomorrow night. Does Yang get to sit on the throne? What? What? Yang is a king? The king's standing right there. What the shit's that all about? He's just a good martial artist. Former king. Strengthocracy. Should call him like the president or something. Sing us a song about the paladin again. Aww. I thought like all of his castle got killed. Everyone in his kingdom was dead. Anna, you're one of 2 people who died in this game. You and one of your relatives. Lally-ho. Scrap the tanks. Because war is over. It's such a Lord of the Rings ending, too. I guess, yeah, Rydia's town died, that's true. And her mom actually did die. You just hanging out being angsty, Kane? He's like Zero. Edge's parents. That's true. Give it credit. Rydia's mom, Edge's parents, Anna and Tella. But Yang fake died, Sid fake died, Edward fake died, Hallam and Poram fake died. Sid was probably the most egregious, I think. Sid and Yang. I could accept Edward because he just kind of fell off the ship. But Sid, like, jumped out of an airship with a bomb strapped to his body, and Yang did a heroic, like, seal himself inside an exploding tower room thing. I'm glad we played the 3D version. It's good to see the new localization. See where they're going with it, especially if we play After Years eventually. Is it Cecil? Idea that Golbez is just wearing his Theodore clothes under his armor the whole time. Takes his helmet off and he just has a normal voice. Prologue. FF4 was the origin of the prologue, right? Prelude was in FF1. Oh yeah, I didn't really realize what the point of the orbit scene was. That the second moon was leaving. Okay. Everybody gets to be a king and queen. This was the early 90s. There was a lot of stuff this game did that was very groundbreaking. It's only now that the like saccharine happy ending is super cliche. I like how it's okay for Cecil to like be married in his paladin regalia, but Rose has got to get a new dress. Those spiny pauldrons he has, man. He's wearing a circlet and a crown, and it's just resting on top of his hair. That's funny. Yay, everything's happy at the end. Good job, everybody. Alright, while the credits play here, I'm gonna go feed the kitties real quick because they're going insane. It's 30 minutes late for them. Her hair is nutty, I agree. Thanks for all your help, Aki. Appreciate. I think this game would have been much rougher if you weren't around for basically all of it, especially with the augment stuff, enemy stats, things like that. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, we did it. Maga Sisters. Calcabria. And Rubicante. You just gotta do that 2 more times. I don't know if there's actually any like story incentive to do all the New Game Plus playthroughs. It doesn't seem like there really is. It's all like a mechanical go fight the super boss type thing. Quack Luck Inc. Motion capture actors? Really? Wow. Motion capture's got to be way cheaper than manual animation. I'll have to ask Yukupo at some point. You wouldn't think it would be necessary for a game as simple as this one. Makes me wonder what they motion captured, if it was just like the voice acted cutscenes, or if, like, you know, Rubicante taking his cape off they even went to the trouble of doing. It's neat to think about how much of animation is like stock. How much of animation is stock. Like the one I always make fun of, the Unreal Engine arm cross. Shitaka Mono. There's some Final Fantasy game, or maybe it's like a spin-off, where like Yoshitaka Mono is billed on the box. I think it's a remake. I have to find out which one it is. Like, I like his art, but I don't know if it's like needs to be on the box. They've already kind of made their farewell letter to old school Final Fantasy, so I feel like they wouldn't bring a Mono back again after 9. They'd have to get Sakaguchi back, and I don't see that happening. I really like 4 as a whole package. If we were to rank Final Fantasies arbitrarily, I'd probably go 6, 9, 10, 5, 7, 4, 8. I just wouldn't include 3, 2, 1 in the ranking because it's been so long since I played 1 and 2 that I don't really remember them, and I never beat 3. I got all the way to the final dungeon and then died and lost interest, lost steam. Yeah. I don't know if you heard me when you stepped out, Aki. Thank you very much for your help with this game. It's made a really big difference. Especially with the DS version and the augments. I think I probably would have made it about halfway through the game before anyone mentioned augments. And I don't think I would have gotten the ones that made the final boss like reasonable. Thanks for playing Final Fantasy IV. Doesn't have to be the end. Now replay the game, retaining all the augments and rare items you acquired the first time around. Up to 3 times in a row. Yeah. Limit break. May as well. You never know. Cool. Thanks again, everybody. That's it for today. I will let you know what's coming up for tomorrow and next week.